I don't think he was a dick as much as I was more jealous of him. You know, I identified as a Ninja Turtle. You think I'm gonna be a f***ing turtle, dog? I mean, I get hit up all the time like, yo, I just seen you in Fast 7. Yo, I just seen you in Wilfred. I decided to start doing music videos at the perfect time, bro. We're just a very rich comedy culture, bro. Mexicans, right? You know, when I see dudes rapping, like I see Lefty Gunplay and I see all these dudes and like Bozo and all these dudes that I'm like, damn, they're rapping, they're doing it. I still feel like I can go bar for bar with them. I've worked with Peso Pluma. I shot all his music videos 2 years ago. I have a serious role coming out. I feel that I can be a serious actor as well. I'm not just comedy, but I don't consider myself an influencer. I consider myself a true entertainer. You know, I just happen to have Instagram as my platform.
It's dope that you showed up to my small ass channel, small ass platform, you know, showing love.
Wait, this is a small channel?
This is a small channel.
Oh, this.
Wait, what's poppin'? It's your boy Moses, aka Nomo, chilling right here inside the Lit Out studio. I got a very special guest in the building. I got Mr.
Yo, what's up? It's your boy Concrete, comedian, sketch, comedy guy, hostess with the mostest, ex-rapper, but first and foremost, husband, father, son, Theo.
Sick ass Theo, huh? Welcome to the podcast and also welcome to Southgate. I'm not sure you've been around here before.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah,
yeah, I've been around, dog. Hell yeah.
This episode is sponsored by Pio's Picos Tacos, located on 3410 Ontario Ranch Road, Suite 2 in the city of Ontario, California. Open 7 days a week from 10:30 to 9 p.m. Embark on a flavor-filled journey at Pio Picos Tacos, founded by SoCal native George Tamayo. Their commitment to quality and authenticity shines through every dish. From mesquite grilled meats to house-infused flavors, their menu is a celebration of family recipe. Remember, savor the flavor at Pio Picos Tacos, where every bite is a taste of tradition. I had the pleasure of actually going to Pio's Picos Tacos right after UrbanCon. Me and the cameraman Jackson, man, we showed up. I ordered a burrito. We got some great food. The service was amazing. The food was incredible. I highly recommend checking out Pio Picos Tacos in the city of Ontario. Make sure you guys give them a follow. Check them out. Real delicious food. Now let's get back to the show.
Yeah. Hey, fool. To me, dog, like, because of your, you know, your past career, the way you grew up and where you are now, obviously there's much more to conquer for you, but you're like the Forrest Gump of entertainment, my boy.
I've gotten that a few times. I've lived the Forrest Gump life. My cousin Jose, my cousin Peps, man, he's like, dog, you just lived the Forrest Gump life, and it's true, dog, to some degree. Like, yeah, kind of like, yeah, dog, I've done a lot, dog. I can't remember half of the shit that I've done, but it's in my, you know, short time here on this earth. Still, I feel I've done a lot.
Yeah, like last night, right? Last night you had this huge show. I don't know. I think it's like 11,000 people fit inside that arena.
Something like that.
And you hosted. Mm-hmm. Tell me about the show last night.
It was dope, man. It was for Mother's Day, and it was me and my boy Jay Valentino. He hops on the two turntables and also grabs a mic with me, and you know, so we co-host the joint. And I took my son with me. It was my son's birthday, so because Dad had to go to work, so took him to work, man, and it's dope, man. I mean, I've done these shows before with Bobby D Presents, and you know, so it's always dope to be around all these legends, you know, Keith Sweat, Jenny Wine, 112, SWV, Toto, the whole crew, man. So it's dope, man, you know?
Yeah, because then, you know, you're also very prolific behind the camera. What came first, behind the camera or in front of the camera?
In front of the camera. In front of the camera. I was acting early on, like in my 20s. And this is right after the rap, and I started doing a bunch of auditions. I kind of wanted to get away from the rap thing, and so I started auditioning. I did, you know, I did a couple movies, you know. Some of them you can find them on HBO. I did a couple commercials, some TV shows here and there. People don't really remember it, but if they go back, I mean, I get hit up all the time, like, yo, I just seen you in Fast 7. Yo, I just seen you in Wilfred. Or, yo, I just seen you in this movie called Green Card Warriors on HBO. Or so they'll see me, and then they'll be like, dog, you've been doing it for a while. And it's like, yeah, I have, dog. It's just, you know, I started taking it seriously in 2018, 2019, and now we're here, you know.
That's dope. You did grow up in the Valley, right?
No.
Okay, born and raised in the Valley, loud and proud, right? But you went to school with a few, what are they called, child actors. The one I really care about is the fool from fucking Little Rascals, dog. Because growing up, I was a little fat, chubby, still fat, right? But they used to call me Spanky sometimes, and I have a Theo named Spanky. Was that fool a dick or was that fool cool? How was he?
Well, you got to think about it, dude. At the time, he was coming off of being, you know, Spanky from the Little Rascals. And ever since I can remember, I've always wanted to be an entertainer. I wanted to be a little child actor. There was a bunch of kids that were actors there. I went to I don't want to say primarily white, but it was in a primarily white neighborhood. My mom took me out of the hood school, and because I wanted to be a gangbanger off tops, and she was like, "No, cabrón, la vas a cagar aquí," So that she sent me over there to Haskell Elementary, where it was essentially in a primarily white neighborhood. But so a lot of the kids were sons or nephews of producers in Hollywood, and I've always wanted to be in it. And was he a dick? I don't think he was a dick as much as I was more jealous of him. Because I was like, who's this fool, dog? What the fuck? Why is everybody on this dick, And I was like, oh, yeah, that's a from Little Rascals, dog. And I remember Miss Dickerson, she was like, you better leave him alone, Christian. And I was like, I didn't even do nothing to that motherfucker. He better not come play soccer with me over there. He better go play fucking handball,
You were already drooling at like, I'm going to eat this fool alive.
I was just, because I'm jealous. I was like, oh, fuck this.
I was getting all that school and shit.
Everybody was on him. It was like, oh, let's go play with him. Like, all my homies that used to play soccer with me, they're like, oh, let's go play with Spanky now. Like, oh, yeah? Well, fuck you then, punk,
That's crazy, dog.
Except my homeboy, Darwin Hernandez, he stuck around with me. We were the two little ugly kids in school type of shit, so we stuck together. But nah, man, I mean, the kid was cool, dog. I don't know what he's up to now, but yeah, so he went to school there, and at that school we had our mascot were rascals. No. So he was a little rascal. The mascot was rascal. So it was like, oh, he's a top rascal.
It was like the teachers and the principal all playing into it?
Oh, fool, they were all cool with them, dog. They would let him slide with all kinds of shit, So I was kind of like, I see what it is. And that was the first, like, even as a kid, like, I noticed, I was like, oh, shit, if you're famous to some degree, like, they'll let you slide with shit. I was like, there's favoritism. There definitely is,
Yeah. I feel like for people that have made it this far, as far as like where you've made it in the industry or anything you kind of dabble into, you always you float to the top, like cream to the top, right? You make it far. Where did you get this like intuition, or like why do you look at the world the way you do? Is it through your parents? Does your dad like look at things like reverse engineer things? Like, where do you think you get that from?
Yeah, well, I mean, I remember growing up, and my parents, like my dad, he used to bump Polo in the car, like stand-up comedy. He used to bump tape, like cassette tapes of a bunch of different comedians. And at the time I was a kid, but I remember my parents laughing in the car, and I remember them just busting up, and I didn't get it. I was a kid, I understood the language, but I didn't get what they were trying to say or the joke, or so I would listen. And so all my uncles and my tia, especially my parents, my parents are really funny people. So I remember growing up in the early 90s, I was maybe 6, 7, 8, 9 or whatever, and they used to put on all these movies, from Risas Vacaciones to Cantinflas, Tintan. They used to watch those Polivoces, all these Mexican TV shows. And then I remember one time my sister put on the TV and she was like, we're going to watch a show called In Living Color. And I was like, oh, okay. So I'm sitting there, bro. And I knew English, but again, I didn't know like the joke or nothing. But I remember characters, and I remember like Jamie Foxx, and I remember Tommy Davidson, and I remember Jim Carrey, and I remember all these guys playing these characters. And I was just so captivated by it, bro. I was just like, this is so funny to me. I remember watching El Chavo del Ocho and all those characters and how they were adults playing kids. But even when I was watching it back then, I thought they were kids. You know what I'm saying? So I remember watching like In Living Color and Homie Don't Play That and all this shit. And I used to be like, damn, that shit is funny. And one of the TV shows that really put me onto that was that one. And it was also The Martin Show. When Martin used to do this little kid character, and he used to come out and act like a little snotty-nosed kid and knock on the door and ask for candy and all kinds of stuff. And I remember taking my dad's camera and doing some of those, like recreating some of those characters, thinking I could be like them, But I just grew up with comedy around it, and I've always been interested in being an entertainer. I can't even tell you when it was because I was so young, bro. But I always wanted to make people laugh. I've always been, You know, to some degree, I think comedians were people pleasers, you know, and when we see people laugh, it makes us feel good, you know, and I think that's always been a part of my DNA is making people smile and laugh and being a people pleaser and somewhat getting like approval and stuff, you know. It's kind of like validation to me in a way, you know, to some, you know, to some aspect of it. Like I always wanted to make people laugh since I can remember. I couldn't tell you what was the pivotal moment, but it's been it's 5, 6, 7 years old, you know, like wanting to be in front of the camera, even at the quinceañeras, making faces, and you know what I'm saying? It was always like I always wanted to be that, you know.
Yeah. Your dad's from Nayarit, huh?
Yeah, from Tepic, Nayarit.
My dad's from Islan. Well, it's close to Islan. It's a little pueblo.
Yeah.
Yeah,
my dad also grew up in San Leonel. That's where, like, you know, most of my dad's family come from, and I believe we still have family there. My mom also lived in Compostela, Nayarit, and then my mom also lived in Guadalajara. Moved back and forth as they were young, but for the most part, it's Tepic, you know, the main city right there.
Because I feel like you have like a very a good, I don't know how to call it, but we have like a great taste in comedy, like a wide palette. Do you feel like your time in Mexico and learning maybe Mexican type comedy helps in your English comedy?
Hell yeah. Because I grew up, again, like I said, man, I grew up around my uncles. I grew up around, like, you know, like my tío Marcos, my tío Guille, you know, my tío Cesar, my Nino like all these people around me have always been funny, dude. My tias have always been funny on both sides, bro. Like, and I just think the Mexican culture has a rich sense of comedy, bro. Mexicans, like, we laugh, we love to laugh, echamos carrilla, you know, we're just a very rich comedy culture, bro. Mexicans, right? And even living in Mexico, and I don't want to say living, but going back and forth every year, and as a kid playing with all the kids canicas and eating toda la tiendita and drinking the Coca-Cola in a bag and doing all this shit as a kid, I feel like it really set the tone for me growing up and really made me understand, like, okay, cool, this is where I come from, and I understood the lingo, I understood the culture, and then coming back over here, you kind of appreciate things that people necessarily don't have out there, you know, and you understand that whatever you have here is really a privilege, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, the things you might take, you know, for granted here aren't so easily obtainable out there, so you tend to try to make the best of it out here now since you know what you have, you know?
Yeah, I remember one time I was 7 years old and we went to Mexico. We drove all the way over there. So when we get off the fucking car or whatever, right away I go to play soccer with the kids, and I like basketball. I have a Lakers shirt on.
Yeah.
You know, I'm a baseball guy. But we start playing, and like 2 seconds into it, fool, they start calling me a fat fuck in Spanish, and like, oh, ese pinche gordito de Los Angeles, this and that. And I'm like, bro, I just got here.
Yeah.
They started attacking me, and I didn't know how to handle it. But you know, after the 2 weeks, at the end of 2 weeks, we're all homies, and we got along. But it's like, you know, like Mexicans, there's like, they know that life is short and they have no time to waste. Like, we got to make this shit funny now.
Yeah.
You feel me?
Yeah, I mean, and I think, you know, I think it's just, it just comes with our culture, bro. Like, you know, like, even when you talk about like the golden age of Mexican cinema, right? It's the Tintans of the world, the Cantinflas, all these guys. Comedy's been in Mexican culture for such a long time, bro, that it's really embedded into what we are now, right? And I think for me, trying to bridge the gap between wanting to be accepted from Mexican viewers and wanting to be accepted from the Mexican American viewer means a lot to me, and sometimes I struggle with that, you know, because I can't pick a side. And as much as I want to appeal to mainstream America, I don't necessarily do that because I'm so caught up in making sure that my people fuck with me.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, like, I feel like I'm fine with that because these are the people that I grew up with. These are the people that understand me. So if I can communicate with them and just only them, then I'm fine with that. You know, do I want to grow as a comedian and be a more broad comedian and have, you know, the white viewer, the black viewer, the Chinese or whatever? Of course I want that, but I'm fine with having my people love me, man. Like, I think if my people love me, I'm fine with that. I could always, I can be myself with them. You know, like, I mean, what's the point of doing comedy if you can't be real with it, bro? You know, so it's like, why am I don't feel like I want to change my comedy just to appeal to a white audience or to a black. Like, I think my comedy is going to be me, and eventually, if they see the talent in it, they'll laugh at it, you know? I don't put subtitles in the Spanish shit because it doesn't translate all the time, you know what I'm saying? Like, when I do shit with my dad, the jokes, the cadence, it doesn't translate to white comedy or to English comedy, you know? So I tend to just leave it as it is, you know? Leave it as it is. Sometimes I'm a very facial expression kind of guy. I'm very physical comedy, so sometimes I hope that some of my physical comedy comes into play so that they can at least get it. I've had people leave in the comments like, I don't know what you said, bro, but your facial expressions were hilarious. I could just imagine what was said, and I'm laughing, and I'm like, cool, it worked, you know?
That's tight. Before comedy, there was rapping, right? Mm-hmm. But what came first, the DJing or the rapping?
The DJing. I used to live in San Fernando. That's where I grew up, and that's where I learned the game in the city of San Fernando. And my next door neighbor had like a little old ass turntable. And back in the day, like in the 90s, when I wanted to be an actor, my parents couldn't afford that shit. Like they could not afford, they couldn't afford the headshots. They couldn't afford leaving work to go take me to auditions. Like, what the fuck? Yeah, estás loco, cabrón. ¿Cómo crees que yo voy a dejar el trabajo para irte a llevar a una audition? ¿Qué es eso? It was unimaginable, dog. ¿Cómo crees, güey? You know? So I learned early on that, okay, damn, this shit is harder than I thought, right? So then I left the comedy. I left the acting. I was really young, though, like at 9, 10, 11. I was like, fuck it, that ain't gonna work. So the next best thing for me was to still be in entertainment, and I always wanted to be in entertainment somehow. So I picked up DJing because my next door neighbor had an old turntable. He's like, "Take it, you could have it." I said, "What?" So I remember getting a bunch of records, and it was just an old turntable, and I used to scratch on it, and I used to do all this shit up until I ended up getting a job at a store called Ray Sonora's Party Supply in Pacoima. And he used to have me repaint, super janky, right? Great guy, rest in peace. But he used to have me like repaint all the chairs and tables, make them look new, make me clean them and wash them and all this shit. And every Friday and Saturday, he would tell me, hey, so he used to own a bunch of DJ equipment, and he used to have DJs go and do like quinceañeras and bautizos and all that. So every Friday and Saturday, he would be like, go replenish all the CDs for all these guys and make sure that all their CDs are in there. And then so he had a record store / party store. So I used to listen to all the music, all the hits, all the bangers, the quinceañera bangers. And at the same time, my mom was a quinceañera instructor. So I was always in the quinceañera mode and the vibe, you know? Until one day, one guy called out and he was like, yo, I'm 12 years old. He was like, yo, I don't know what I want to do. Que pinche no va a llegar. Y hay un bautizo ahorita y no sé qué hacer. And I was like, Ray, I'll go. He was like, no, ¿cómo crees, cabrón? Estás bien morro. I was like, Ray, I'll go. I'll DJ. I know all the music, bro. I'm the one that fixes this shit, bro. I said, bro, yo voy, güey, yo voy. And he was like, seguro. And I was like, how much you gonna pay me? He's like, I pay everybody $35. And I was like, let's fucking go, dog. I'm 12, dog. He was like, $35? You do it for 35? I'll send them. Let's go. This fool banked like $300-400 probably dollars a night, you know?
Yeah.
And he told me 35, and I was like, fuck it. Think about it. Fools are making $6 an hour, you know? So I thought $35 for 5-6. He's probably $6 an hour, you know? I made $6 an hour for six hours for a party. And I remember I get there, and I remember the bautizo, the parents were like, ¿Y tú qué? I said, yo soy el DJ. No mames. And I remember he called them, ¿Qué onda, pinche Ray Sonora? No mames, güey. Mandaste un morro. And I guess Ray was convincing him, like, nah, the kid knows. And then he's like, árale pues aviéntate, güey. You know, and I remember my dad was parked outside just waiting. My dad wouldn't come inside. He was like, fuck it. He just kind of helped me take all the speakers up and set up my little light set and I started spinning, bro, and I fucking just started killing it, bro. And I knew all the songs, bro. Todo el merengue, la salsa, las cumbias. My parents, like, you know, Sonora Dinamita, que la banda machos. And I was playing all the bangers all night, dog. And the dude was like, nah, cabrón, te aventaste. And then when Ray got there to pick up all the equipment at the end of the night, he was like, no, se aventó el morro. And I started just DJing for him. It wasn't until I was like, man, I want to leave this part, like this shit. I want to do like house parties and clubs. And I wanted it. So then I started doing that shit, you know? I was like, what, 15, 16 when that started happening?
Yeah, then you ended up making like real money at a club, right?
Yeah, man, I used to have a club in Simi Valley. It was called the Tequila Room. I was 16 years old, bro, and they gave me my own club. 21 and over, go figure, dog. And I had my own club, bro, and I was making easily, what, $500-$600 a night. And you got to think about it, dog. This is back in 2000, 2001, dog. So for a kid that's 16 making $500-$600 a week, fool, I was like, but I was fucking it off. Like, I didn't understand how much money I was making. So I was just like, I would be there and I would give my boys, oh, here's $50, fool. And by the time I went home, fool, I was like $150-$200. I didn't get it. Like, I didn't get that I was making enough to pay the rent. It wasn't in my, I was just having fun, bro. To me, it wasn't about money at the time. It was just like, I'm just a kid. I'm just having fun. I'm getting paid and I'm drinking in the club.
You're 16, dog.
And I'm 16, bro. Like, you know, I had no fucking business, bro. But yeah, I started making money, man.
And then when you were, then you started making music and...
I started making music because I got tired of DJing.
What's poppin'? It's your boy Moses. We're taking a second from this episode to bring you a word from our sponsor. This episode is sponsored by us, The Lit Outlet. The best way to support the channel is to like, comment, subscribe on every episode. Don't forget the reels on Instagram. Don't forget the shorts on YouTube. Make sure you guys like and comment on everything you see from The Lit Outlet. Also, another big major way you can support the channel is to join our Patreon. The link is down below in the description. You can keep the channel alive by pledging $1 every month. You can also do $3, $5, $10, $20. But all I'm asking, if you're a Liddy and you're enjoying the content, to at least join our Patreon for $1 a month. Another way you can support the channel is to buy some merch. We got hoodies for $40 and we got t-shirts with this logo for $25. If you want to support the channel, those are the best ways. But also, if you want to just keep enjoying the content for free, you can do that too. I don't mind. So I want to say thank you to all of our Liddies who are watching, liking, subscribing to all of our content here. Now let's get back to the show.
But like your first rap name was Bareta?
Bareta.
Okay. What made you pick that name?
It was like a play on the word. Like when you write a verse, a rap verse is 16 bars. Mm-hmm. And when you load a gun, it's 16 bullets. So that was just it. It had no, I'm not a gangster. Like I have, plenty of homies, family members that are in gangs, but I was never per se jumped into anything. You know what I'm saying? I just hung around a bunch of gangsters, drug dealers, or whatever the case. So I was around this shit, but to me, it was just a play on words, And so when I was rapping about street shit, and I was rapping about what I was doing, selling drugs here and there, doing that shit. And then unfortunately, my best friend passed away in 2008, and I decided that maybe Bareta wasn't the name that I wanted to go by anymore. Like I didn't want to portray something that I wasn't. I couldn't look at myself in the mirror and feel. I don't want to say I was being fake, but what I'm saying is I wasn't living the life, and I didn't want to live the lifestyle. It wasn't me, right? And when there's real motherfuckers out there really doing this shit, right? There's motherfuckers really doing this shit, and I felt that if I was going to contribute to rap, it was going to be under something that's more real to me, and something that I can actually look in the mirror and be happy with, So I wanted to drop the name Bareta. I kind of felt that it was somewhat negative for me and what I was trying to accomplish, and I decided to go with Concrete. After my boy died, it took me a while to mature, and just like concrete, when you lay it, it takes a while to mature, and once it matures and then hardens, you can build that. There's a foundation now you can build up, and that's where the name Concrete came to play. It's nothing sexy, but it's meaningful to me,
Yeah, right now when I was typing your name in my phone, sometimes I put like, oh, fucking whatever, this fool from this fate, and I put Concrete. I'm like, yeah, there's no other Concrete in here. It's just going to be Concrete.
Yeah, well, also when I barely had started Concrete, people would search it and it'd be a bunch of little paisas working and concrete companies and a bunch of shit, So it was weird, dog. So I've never had a sexy, even Bareta, like even when I did Bareta, like people would be like Bareta and it'd be a gun. And then it was like, fuck, you can't find me, But I'm sure The Rock went through that too. People were searching The Rock, and a rock popped up at one point,
Yeah.
And now, right now, if you search Concrete, some things will start popping up. you know, and I hope one day when they do search it, that it's just me. I pop up, you know, just like The Rock now pops up, you know.
We need some concrete. Why do you need this guy? We're building a house.
Yeah, exactly. You know,
Confuse people.
I want it to be the reverse, you know.
So you do rapping for a while, and you actually make it pretty far in the business, right? You get like a manager. You're working with Steve LaBelle. You work with Nipsey Hussle. Some of your music is on Spotify. I'm not sure if you know or not. You still got music up there. What makes the transition from rap to comedy?
There was acting in between and shooting. Okay. You know, I mean, rap is still in me, bro. I mean, I still, you know, have the definition of music on my arm. I still, you know, when I see dudes rapping, like I see Lefty Gunplay and I see all these dudes and like Bozo and all these dudes that I'm like, damn, they're rapping, they're you know, it's a sport, bro. Like to some degree, I still feel like I can be out there. I still feel like I can go bar for bar with them, you know, but again, like I said, it's not something that excites me no more. I wake up every now and then. I'm like, I'll go do a song in my studio. I'll just look up a beat and I'll record a song just for the fuck of it, just to scratch the itch, you know. But I have no desire right now at this moment to drop an album or to be competitive or to do anything like that, you know. But so I started when I decided to leave the rap and shit, I started doing music videos because I knew so many rappers, and I was like, fuck it, let me shoot these dudes music videos. Like, I still want to stay within the culture and I still want to be in this rapping shit, so this is the way for me to stay in the culture. So I started asking a bunch of my buddies. I was like, hey man, y'all need rap videos? Hell yeah. And I started just doing music videos and boom 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 boom, and then it went from just shooting for the homies, bro, to shooting, going all over the world, bro, and seeing the world, you know, from South America to Canada to Europe and, you know, the Caribbeans. And, you know, I've seen the world through a lens, man, all in my 20s, bro. Like I've seen many corners of this world through this shit, you know, and something I probably wouldn't have done with music, you know. So God has a plan, man, and I just followed his plan, you know. I didn't really fight it. It was just more like, fuck it, let's go. This is what I got to do. This is what it is. And I was happy being creative because I was still being creative, bro. I try to do the job shit, bro. It just wasn't, it's not for me, bro. And I've had plenty of jobs. It just wasn't for me, dog.
Yeah.
When you have something in your heart that you want to do, that you can't change that, bro. You know, just the same way a drug dealer loves drug dealing, bro, or a gangster likes being, it's in his heart, bro. You can't change that shit, you know? It's you know, you have to live through it to eventually get out of it or whatever. And just the same way, like I lived through me filming, and then I got to a point where, okay, filming is not satisfying me no more. I have to look for something else, and thank God I found comedy, bro. I went back to my original shit, you know, and maybe the whole drug dealing, gangbanging isn't the great example, right? But sometimes you just, you know, again, man, like you may have a passion, but your passion is not your calling, you know? So.
Yeah, because, you know, one of the questions was going to be, like, is there money in making music videos? But obviously there is for you, right? Because you got to travel the world and you got to work on, like, big budget stuff, obviously, to be able to travel for it. What do you think separated you from other small-time or beginner music producers back then? Like, what made you better than everybody else?
I don't want to say I was better than them. Well, I don't think that's for me to say. I think that's for people that watch the videos to say who's better. I think creativity is very subjective, right? So some people may like my boy Echo more, Echo's World. Some people may like my boy, like an Icon more. It's subjective, you know. I think I started doing music videos at a time when there wasn't many dudes doing it. YouTube was barely popping. It was barely becoming a platform for that. So I came at a time where I was able to service something for people that had never had that opportunity. So everything was timing for me, bro. Everything has its time. And I think I decided to start doing music videos at the perfect time, bro. And it was, you know, again, I'm good at what I do because I'm creative, you know. But as far as who's better, that's up for the people to decide. I don't, you know. I'm just happy I got to see the world for it, you know. Money didn't matter at the same time either, bro. We never cared. He's been with me for 10 years, but we never cared about the money. We cared about give us money to make this shit dope. Because we knew the money was going to come eventually, right? And so we never cared about making money, dog. We would take low budgets. We pride ourselves on doing low budget shit and making it look big budget shit.
Who's harder to work with, rappers or corrido artists or any other artists? Who are the prima donnas in the...
Women.
Just in general?
Women.
Why?
Women. Well, because women care about their appearance more than dudes, you know what I'm saying? Women are very special creatures. They're a very special specimen in this world. That we love them, right? We love women. We love what they bring to the culture, whether you're a singer, rapper, but just women tend to be a little bit more harder to work with because they want the camera certain this way and the lighting got to be like this, as opposed to a dude. Man, just let me roll this blunt real quick and let's get this shit cracking and let me get fucked up. And rappers tend to think it's a party. It's like music videos is an excuse to just say we're throwing a party,
Yeah.
And it got to the point where I was like, nah, bro, I'm here to work. Let's get this shit done. Y'all can stay after this motherfucker and do what the fuck you guys want to do. I got kids. I want to go home. It got to that point, and but I think I don't want to say nobody was super difficult to work with. I just think certain artists want different things, and you as a director, as a producer, you have to learn how to manage these different personalities and characters, right? You got to know how to maneuver around these people, right? Just like a coach, when he's coaching, say, a basketball team, a championship basketball team, he has to know how to talk to each and every player a different way to bring them all together to make shit work, right? And that was me. The way I treated one rapper was different how I treated another rapper. If I know this rapper likes to get shit done quickly, I'm on my shit. If I know this rapper likes to get high, we used to get there a little bit. I'd be like, I would call him. I'd be like, hey, your call time's at 2 when it was really at 3. So he would get there at 3 and ready. You know what I'm saying? So I started learning, bro. But I would say the most difficult ones in a way was probably girls, dude.
So you usually don't brag about a lot of stuff. You don't brag about anything. You kind of keep it just like you just kind of post your stuff right here. You're here, you're there, but you're not really bragging a lot. But for me, who are some of the bigger names you've worked with before?
It's been a lot of them. Well, it's been a lot of them.
Give me a quick list.
I think it doesn't I mean, shit. You mentioned fucking like Jaimie. I didn't work with him directly, but I worked with like people around him. I've worked with Peso, Pluma. His early shit 2 years ago, right? I shot all his music videos 2 years ago. Nobody knows that. If you've seen the videos, if you know, you know. I don't post it anymore. I don't. I don't know, dude. Cheekies. I've worked with. I don't know. It's just so many people. It's just so many. The Marleys. We've seen in Yandel. I mean, dude. The list goes on. I just. I you know what? I remember more of the places that I've been to than the people I work with.
Okay. Well, what are some of the dope places that you've been to?
Sweden, Spain, London, Puerto Rico, Belize, Mexico, almost every state in Mexico, Quebec, Canada, Colombia, Bogota, Medellin, Honduras. Those are probably the coolest ones.
Since you've been like in Mexico a lot, do you ever get tired of like, you know what, I want to go somewhere cold or I want to go somewhere different? Yeah.
Nah, I mean, when I went to Canada, that shit was cold. When I went to Sweden, I went to Sweden during the summer, but their summer's like 66 degrees, so it's weird. And then like the fucked up part about it is that like during their summers, right, they have 20-hour days.
Damn.
4-hour nights. So you'll go to sleep at 10, and then the sun's up at 2.
Damn.
So you really don't see like a night. It's always like a sunset. It's like it stays at a sunset. You know, so it'll fuck you up. You
I was
know,
gonna ask you, this shit fucks you up, like you can't.
yeah, fuck yeah, it'll fuck you up. You know, but damn, they love their mayonnaise out there, type of shit. You know,
Mayonnaise?
they love mayonnaise though. Like they have this thing. It's kind of like a Chick-fil-A, and when it's globs of mayonnaise.
Ooh.
Like I would have to go on the side and just go like this. Yeah, dog, they love their mayonnaise, bro. Swedish people love their mayonnaise, bro.
That's fucking weird.
But yeah, I mean, I've worked with so many people, dog, and again, some of the people like they may, you know, like when I worked with Peso, he wasn't Peso Pluma, dog. You know what I'm saying? Like he was Peso Pluma 6 months after that, 10 months after that.
Is that the video where he's like kind of like wearing a tight shirt and tight pants, and he's just standing there behind like his band? Or is it?
No, I never did I never did live shit for him.
Okay, then it's not the one I'm thinking about.
I did Spiral, Por las Noches, some of the early bangers that he wrote, right? Super low budget shit, bro, but I made it look dope, you know? But he wasn't Peso, so that's what I'm saying. Like for me to tell you, these are the most famous people I work with, dog. There's people that, you know, like Secan, fool. Like most people, a lot of people here don't know that name, but that dude's big around the world. You know what I'm saying? So what may be big to you may not be big to me, but what may be big to me is not big to you. You know what I'm saying? So everybody's kind of big in their own right. You know, like I've Crystal Poppin', Chingo Bling, Kid Frost, like, you know, Mellow Man Ace, Frankie J, Baby Bash, MC Magic. These are all dudes that I've shot for, bro, and they're huge artists in their own right? Like they all have, they all sell out concerts, they all do everything, you know. So, it just depends on who you like or who's big to you, you know. Somebody I may say, you know, I work with, I work with the Marleys. I shot for them. I did the Jamrock Cruise tour. I shot for We Seen. Or, you know, when I was in Yandel in Puerto Rican for 10 days. Like, so it's like, man, who gives a fuck? But I'll say Secan and they'll be like, what? You shot for Secan? Yeah, man, we had many great times with that guy, you know?
Yeah. Do you remember like your first white TV show growing up watching? Like for me it was The Simpsons. Like to me there were white people and like I was like, damn, these white people are fucking crazy, you know? Like being Mexican and growing up around Mexicans, white to me was exotic. You know, like do you remember your first white TV show?
I mean, yeah. It's probably several ones, but the one that like really sticks out to me that it's all probably like always be like Saved by the Bell, Full House, Saved by the Bell. Because those are the ones that I would grow up, I would watch like every Saturday morning or Sunday or whatever, or every day like on KTLA, it was always like Fresh Prince, you know. But the white ones, I would say, yeah, that one, Ghost Rider. Probably too young. How old are you?
34.
Okay, so you're not too far behind me, but I would say like Saved by the Bell, Full House, The Wonder Years.
Wonder Years was hard for me. Nick at Night.
You know, like those are probably what I would say white, primarily white cast. Is that what you mean, right? Yeah, I would say that, bro. Like, you know, for sure, Full House, dog.
Yeah. What would you trip out about that? What would you trip out on? For me, it was that fool fucking the white uncle, not Uncle Jesse, the other fool.
Joey?
Yeah, that fool would trip me out. It would just be so cringy.
Well, yeah, because he had like the voices, and then he was like the hockey player, and then, you know.
It's funny, dog.
Yeah, like Joey, Uncle Joey.
When you were watching that shit, would you be like, oh, that guy's a comedic relief, or this guy's this? Like, would you already start like deciding?
Nah,
you're just watching it.
Nah, I used to just watch it because a lot of it, like those sitcoms are all about comedy, you know. But I used to like. I learned a lot of life lessons from like
Uncle Joey.
I learned life lessons from Full House. Like I learned life lessons from fucking Saved by the Bell. Like you know what's funny? I remember watching like Saved by the Bell and being like, man, I want to grow up and just be like Zach Morris. You know, like
Not Mario Lopez.
I didn't differentiate. Like I was so young, I didn't differentiate. Like, oh, he's Hispanic, I should identify with Mario.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's why to me, whenever they try to do all this shit now, where it's like they gotta put someone like this in a TV show, when you're watching something, you know, motherfucker, I identified as a Ninja Turtle. You think I'm gonna be a fucking turtle, dog? Like, do you know what I'm saying? Like, I wanted to be a fucking Ninja Turtle, dog. What the fuck does it matter? I'm not
to live in the sewer.
I'm not gonna be a fucking turtle, dog. Never. You know what I'm saying? But I remember watching this shit and being like, yeah, I want to be like Zach because he's the man. He's the man. You know. He had the cell phone. He had he always had the kicks. You know. He always it was. I mean, don't get me wrong. Mario was dope. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's Mario Lopez. I remember my parents telling me like, oh, he's Mexican. It's like, oh, cool. Like, I didn't grasp it as a kid. Like, oh, I'm Mexican. He's Mexican. I should be identifying with him. Like, no, I just identified with the main character. Mm-hmm. I identified with Zach. Like, I didn't identify with fucking Screech or Mr. Belding. You know what I'm saying? But I identified with fucking, Michelangelo.
That was your favorite one?
At the time, I think I've grown to be more of a Ralph.
Ralph is the orange one.
Red. Michelangelo's the orange one.
Okay.
I've grown up. I've grown up to be a little bit more grumpier.
Hey, fool, do you feel like that? I think it came out right before Transformers. It was like a live action Ninja Turtles. You feel like the one with Michelle Foxx in it? Was Michelle Foxx in that shit?
Michelle Foxx.
Was it Michelle Foxx? The one that comes out in Transformers.
Megan Fox. Do I like those?
No,
movie?
I feel like that movie was underrated. Do you remember watching that movie?
No. Yeah, with Michael. Yeah, the Michael Bay one.
When they're in the fucking elevator rapping and shit. You didn't like it? I fucked with it, dog. I thought it was good.
I'm just, I'm old school, bro. Like I like the original shit. You know what I'm saying? I mean, but that's just, to me, that, like, I have a Ninja Turtle shrine, bro. Like, the way you have this shit here, like, I have something similar, but it's all Ninja Turtles,
Damn, dog.
So I grew up every morning before I went to school watching Ninja Turtles, the cartoon,
Check
bro.
this out, phone. They call you. Like, all right, you're going to direct the next fucking Mutant Ninja Turtle movie. What's the plot? Shoot it right now. What is it? What is the movie going to be about?
We go back to the basics.
Okay, what is that?
And the Foot Clan has to be involved. We have to have Shredder. I would let my hair down and I'm playing Casey Jones. I'm playing Casey Jones. There's no way.
But what are they fighting against? What are they going for? What is the plot in the movie,
I mean, I would take it back to the basics, dog. Like, like this is the whole thing, dog. Is that, like, you don't, like, just because we're in 2020 doesn't mean we have to, like, they have to save the world from annihilation. Like, man, like the original Ninja Turtles, it was about what it was at the time, right? Like, it was about gang activity and making sure your kids didn't fall into the hands of somebody trying to brainwash them to do negative shit, right? I think ultimately that's what it is, bro. Like, whether you're gonna join the fucking gang or you're gonna join Al Qaeda, bro. Like, it's the same fucking concept, right? It's just how crazy do you want to get with it? I would keep it simple. Keep it, again, put it in New York. Bring the pizza back. But just in a modern way, like I would have Christopher Nolan do it, and keep it nice and dark, like the original film, right? Because if you know about Ninja Turtles, you know that it was never meant to be a kid's cartoon. The comics were very dark, bro. It was a very dark comic book, so I would take it back to the original, the way that the first movie was. It was very 80s? Dark. Yeah, it was 89, I think. Yeah. It was very dark. It was very, it was realistic. And then if you remember the third one, they're like in Japan. Like, bro, it just got too Disney, bro. Too bright. Like, if you look at both movies, super dark, gritty, shit was mad dope. And then it got into, like, laughing and all this. No, bro. Like, just keep it the way it's supposed to be, Again, man, but that's just me, though. That's, So, I don't know. I wasn't a big fan of the new ones,
Okay. I liked it, dog.
Yeah. No, it's cool. No, that's cool. I'm fine with the dude, Some people like Whataburger. People like In-N-Out.
I never had it. You had it before, Whataburger? It's trash.
No, it's not trash.
Is it better than Jack in the Box?
It's not trash. It's better than Jack in the Box.
Yeah, I like Jack in the Box, dog.
No, Jack in the Box is fire. I don't want to say Whataburger's trash. it's like I've been to Texas like 10 times in the last 2 years, and I haven't gone back. But that's just, again, it's me, man. Like, I'd rather go to a barbecue. Like, I'm not gonna go to Texas and get a fucking burger, bro. I'm gonna go to Texas, get some barbecue, get some Tex-Mex food. You know what I'm saying, bro? Like, the fuck?
Yeah.
I'm gonna go to New York and get a slice of pizza. I'm not gonna go get a fucking. I'm not gonna go to New York and be like, where the fucking tacos at? You know what I'm saying, bro?
You know, growing up too.
This episode is sponsored by Picos Tacos, located on 3410 Ontario Ranch Road, Suite 2 in the city of Ontario, California. Open 7 days a week from 10:30 to 9 p.m. Embark on a flavor-filled journey at Picos Tacos. Founded by SoCal native George Tamayo, their commitment to quality and authenticity shines through every dish. From mesquite grilled meats to house-infused flavors, their menu is a celebration of family recipe. Remember, savor the flavor at Picos Tacos, where every bite is a taste of tradition. I had the pleasure of actually going to Picos Tacos right after UrbanCon. Me and the cameraman Jackson, man, we showed up. I ordered a burrito. We got some great food. The service was amazing. The food was incredible. I highly recommend checking out Picos Tacos in the city of Ontario. Make sure you guys give them a follow. Check them out. Real delicious food. Now let's get back to the show.
You said you were watching a lot of Living Color, right? Some of the most famous people that come out, hella famous people came out of that show.
Everybody came out of that.
But part of the top two in my book is going to be Jim Carrey and Jamie Foxx, which is my top two. I feel like Jamie Foxx is underrated for his music, but obviously the Jamie Foxx show was fucking awesome. And then Jim Carrey and his movies, right? I'm a big fucking The Mask and Liar Liar fan and stuff like that.
Yeah.
How are they similar, different, and who's the best?
Well, I don't think they're very different, right? I think all those guys are. You talk about Jim Carrey and Jamie Foxx. I don't think those guys are very, very different. Obviously, you know, I think they're both funny. They're both very creative. They're both sketch comedy kings, character-based comedy kings. As far as comedy movies, right? Comedy movies, I would definitely give it to Jim, because Jim has had comedy bangers, right? He's had comedy bangers. Dumb and Dumber blew my fuse. Like, I couldn't laugh at nothing for a long time. Dumb and Dumber was hilarious. The Mask, fucking Ace Ventura, you know, plenty of movies that made you laugh, right? Bruce Almighty, all these great movies.
Bruce Almighty.
And then Jamie Foxx has had some good ones as well, right? Maybe not a lot of crazy comedy movies, but Jaimie, I think, became the ultimate package, right? Jaimie is someone that I would probably model my career after, right? He can rap. I mean, he can sing. I can rap. He can do a sketch comedy. I think I've proven myself that I'm a valid sketch comedy guy to some degree, right? Maybe I'm still growing. I'm not a Jaimie yet, but I think I've proven myself for 6 years straight that the consistency is there, right? And then he also had something. He has one up on Jim, right? Jim didn't have a sitcom. Jaimie did. He had the Jamie Foxx show, 5 seasons. Right? Over 100 fucking episodes. Very successful. People just don't get a sitcom. And then Jaimie went and stepped out and did amazing fucking Hollywood movies. Not just comedy, but he went and did some blockbuster action shit, bro. And then not only that, but he went and did some really dope fucking music too. You know, so if you're gonna ask me who, I mean, yeah, it would probably have to be Jaimie, because I think I want to model my career after Jaimie more than anything. You know what I'm saying?
What about like in real life? Because I feel like Jim Carrey, when they interview that fool, like, he's very serious. Like, he's very like talking about, you know what he talks about. Like, when they interview that fool, he's not really playing into like the game, right? How to give people a good interview. When Jamie Foxx is interviewed, like, he's smiling, he's joking, he's making like.
It's just two different characters, right? I think like you gotta see it like this, bro. Like, for example, me right now, I'm not really giving you the sketch comedy guy. I'm not giving you stand-up, right? I think, you know, with Jim, like, you gotta think about it, dude. You've been doing comedy for 30, 40 years. at some point you're gonna want people to take you seriously, bro. At some point you're gonna want people to really listen to what you want to say without being like and doing all this shit, right? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, so you know, that's Jim though, man. I think at one point, dog, you want to be taken seriously, bro. Like, you want to be, you know. I think there's more onion to peel on Jim Carrey, you know, and it's okay, bro. Yeah, you're right. Should he maybe chill out for a little bit? Cool, but I don't know what the man's been through behind the closed doors in Hollywood, you know. I've been around Jaimie, you know. I always tell the story. The motherfucker made me a sandwich, you know, at his crib.
Oh, yeah?
You know, we had a really good conversation. He showed me one of his TV shows that he was producing at the time. I wish I would have stayed in contact because I'm trying to get in contact with him now. But, yeah, to me, look, I love Jim for what he's done. But if I was going to model my career after anybody, it'd be probably it'd be Jamie Foxx.
I think you posted today that you wanted to talk to Jamie Foxx for, right? For what? Like, if you had to talk to him, what would you talk to him about?
I want him to produce my sitcom.
What is the sitcom about?
Me.
What else, huh?
I grew up, I mean, you know.
But you now or you before?
Me before, maybe, you know, like growing up or maybe working at my mom's party supply store. I don't know, bro. I don't really know where I would take it. That's why I would want to talk to someone like Jaimie and sit down with him and be like, you know, can you help me do what Sandra Bullock did for George and help him out, you know? I think Jamie Foxx has done everything that I want to do in this life, you know? Like, I have a serious role coming out. I feel that I can be a serious actor as well. I'm not just comedy. Comedy will be my stepping stone, but I don't want to end there. You know, I think there's more to me than just making people laugh. I want to do a drama. I want to do an action movie. You know what I'm saying? I think I'm good for all of that. And I think my work ethic speaks for itself, that I think I can become something like that, you know? I mean, making people laugh is always going to be there, but like, I think Jaimie can help me get to where I need to be. And if it's not him, he can at least point me in the right direction. But I at least want to have a like, if I could have had this conversation with him then, I would have. Hence, but I didn't know I didn't know I was going to come back to comedy. I didn't know I was going to come back to acting. Because before, I was just asking about producing stuff, which is kind of the same thing now, but it's different now. I have a platform. Now I have a voice. I have a fan base now. I would tell them all this, like, look, I have a fan base. Look, bro, people want me to do a TV show. Look, man, they're expecting it, you know. Let's do something, bro. You know, you've been there, you've done it. And I think it'd be dope to have something fresh. I mean, everybody's done it. George has another TV show. Fluffy's had a sitcom. I want one too.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
You know, when I go down the timeline, I see you pop up almost regularly. I don't know what your schedule is, but it feels like every other day you have a brand new skit, or this food looks like me skit, you know, whatever it is. But like, are you having issues with like not being able to, like, you see the joke and everything and you make everything funny? Like, how does it work? How does like the creative juices come in? Is it just consistent, or do you separate time to write stuff down and focus on funny stuff?
I don't write as much as people think I do. It's not about writing for me, you know. I don't want to say let me rephrase that. I do write, bro. I have scripts. I have plenty of shit that I do, but it's not like I sit here and I'm like, what am I gonna do next week? Okay, next week I want to do a That's Not Me. Like, no, I have, you know, call it creative genius. I have shit all over the place on my phone, bro. Like, if I show you my phone right now, right? So like, I'm a habitual screen roller, right? So I have a bunch of skits right here that I want to recreate, you know? And those are a bunch of skits, right? Like, for example, this one. I'm like, okay, maybe I'm at a restaurant and that kid flips me off. You know what I'm saying?
I can already see it.
So then I have that one, and then I have new material, right? And then I'll write all my new material, right? This is all my new material. And then I have a bunch of sketches here. You know, like it's a bunch of different, you know, and then I have my script that I go back and write into. And then so I just more like I just save a bunch of shit, you know, and whatever I feel like doing that day. You know, I've had videos that are in the rain and we'll wait till it rains to do that video. It's just timing, bro. To me, it's all about timing. You know?
I feel like, you know, a lot of people think they're funny, right? Everyone thinks they're funny with their friends. But I feel like this is the kind of stuff that people don't know, that it's what really kind of takes you from I want to do something to like, oh, I'm prepared now to do something, which is taking the time to do all that stuff, right?
Right. Well, a lot of people think that like it's easy, bro. That you can just wake up, and I'm not saying you can't. Anybody can wake up and do a reel. Anybody can do a wake up, you know. And dude, there's been people that aren't necessarily funny that make a funny reel, goes viral, goes famous. They get 1 million, 2 million followers in overnight, and God bless them, you know. But what's your follow up? Now what are you gonna do? You're gonna live off that reel forever? You know what I'm saying? Is this really what you really wanted to do? And I'm not to hate on that. What I'm saying is that I'm really here to do this shit. I'm really here. I'm not an influencer, bro. Like I may do promos and shit like that, but I don't consider myself an influencer. I consider myself a true entertainer. You know, I just happen to have Instagram as my platform. And I thank God for it, because if I would have been doing this shit in the 90s, God knows if I would have popped off. You know how much competition there is? Like, you know how many doors would have been closed at the time, bro? Timing wasn't right. So I thank God that I have Instagram as my platform to show myself off, because if not, fuck, who knows, bro? It's up to me. It's up to you now to put your shit out there. If you're not seen, it's because you're not putting yourself out there no more. If you're waiting for a casting director to call you, good luck. You know?
And we're gonna end the podcast right there, my boy. Thank you. Also, too, like, it's dope that you showed up to my small ass channel, small ass platform. You know, showing love.
Wait, this is a small channel?
This is a small channel.
Oh, fuck this.
Wait, hold on, fool. Don't leave, dog. Please. Please, dog. Don't leave. Imagine you would have left with us. Hilarious. Sick ass walk off.
Yeah.
No, but thank you for putting up for it. Really appreciate it. You know,
good, man.
Sharing your story with our listeners and stuff like that, our viewers and stuff. If you guys are still watching, make sure you guys to like, share, comment, all that good shit. What's coming up next for you?
I have a show in Covina. I don't know when this is gonna come out, but I have 2 shows in Covina. Oh, okay. So these Covina shows, you don't have to worry about it. I'm in Utah, May 31st, June 1st, Arlington or Houston, Arlington. Then I have Pachanga, doing something for some pretty cool people in Pachanga, private event. And I don't know, man, just a bunch of shows, man. Go on, and I have Bakersfield. My first theater show in Bakersfield is July 20th.
Sick.
So that's 1,500 seats.
God damn.
Please buy tickets, guys. But yeah, man, that's it right there, dude.
That's dope, man. Well, thanks again for putting up.
Thank you, brother. Appreciate you, brother. Gracias.
All right, have a good one.
Peace. Yeah.